Imagine this. You're standing at the edge of a jagged pit, the air heavy with the stench of wild beasts. Below you hear the deep, rumbling growls of lions, their eyes glinting in the dark, teeth sharp enough to rip through bone. No sword, no shield, just you and your faith. They shove you in, the ground shakes as you land, and a massive stone seals you in with those hungry beasts. That's it. You're done, right? That's what they thought about Daniel. Betrayed by haters, trapped in a lion's den, but standing tall with a faith so fierce it shut the mouths of lions. How did one man's trust in God turn a death sentence into a miracle? Let's dive into the wild, heart-pounding story of Daniel in the lion's den. A story so powerful it'll set your spirit on fire and show you what faith can do when the world comes for you. Picture Babylon, fam. A city like no other. Golden palaces stretching toward the sky, markets buzzing with traders shouting in a dozen languages, and streets packed with people from every corner of the empire. It's the ancient world's New York City, dripping with wealth and power. King Darius is on the throne, juggling a kingdom so vast it spans modern-day Iraq, Iran, and beyond. He's got officials, governors, and advisors keeping this empire running. But one man stands out, Daniel. A Hebrew exile, torn from his home in Jerusalem, Daniel's not just surviving in this foreign land, he's running things. One of Darius's top 3 advisors, this brother is sharp, wise, and faithful. The king trusts him so much he's planning to put Daniel over the whole empire. But here's the thing, Daniel's not out here chasing clout. His secret? He prays 3 times a day, every single day, no matter what. Kneeling at his window facing Jerusalem, he's pouring his heart out to God, staying rooted in a world trying to pull him away. Now, you know how it goes when you're shining. The haters come out, we've all been there. Doing your thing, living right, and somebody's watching, waiting for you to slip. The other officials in Babylon, they couldn't stand Daniel. He's an outsider, a Hebrew in a Babylonian system, yet he's outshining them all. They're like those folks who grin in your face but whisper behind your back, plotting. These guys go digging for dirt on Daniel, his work, his decisions, his personal life. But Daniel's life? It's clean. His character? Solid. They find nothing to pin on him. So they get real sneaky. They know the one thing Daniel won't compromise, his faith. That's his heart, his anchor, his non-negotiable. So these officials cook up a plan. They slide up to King Darius, stroking his ego like he's the greatest king to ever live. "O king," they say, "you're so mighty, so majestic, let's make a law to show it. For the next 30 days, nobody can pray to any god or man except you. If they do, they're thrown into the lion's den." Darius, caught up in the flattery, doesn't see the trap. He thinks, yeah, that sounds good. Make me the only one folks bow to. He signs the decree, not knowing he's just signed a death warrant for his most trusted advisor. Those officials, they weren't thinking about Darius's glory. They were gunning for Daniel, knowing he'd never stop praying to his God. Daniel hears about this new law. Does he flinch? Does he hide? Nah, y'all. This man goes straight to his room, throws open his window, and prays like he always does. 3 times a day, bold as ever. He's not whispering, not sneaking around. He's praying loud, facing Jerusalem, giving God all the glory. Picture him on his knees, his voice steady, praising God in a city that just outlawed it. That's the kind of faith that stops you in your tracks. Imagine knowing the penalty is death. Lions, y'all, not a slap on the wrist. But you're so locked in with God that you don't even blink. Could you do it? Could you stand that firm when the stakes are that high? The officials, of course, are watching like vultures. They catch Daniel praying, his window wide open, his faith on full display. They run to Darius, snitching like it's their full-time job. Your boy Daniel's breaking the law, king. He's praying to his God, not you. You know what that means. Lion's den. Darius is crushed. He loves Daniel, trusts him like a brother. The Bible says he's greatly distressed and spends all day trying to find a loophole, some way to save Daniel. But in Babylon, a king's decree is ironclad. Once it's signed, even Darius can't undo it. As the sun dips low, he gives the order, his voice heavy, his heart breaking. They arrest Daniel and drag him to the lion's den. Let's set this scene because it's intense. The lion's den is no joke, a cold, dark pit carved deep into the earth. The air's thick with the musky scent of wild animals. You can hear the lions pacing, their claws scraping the stone, their growls bouncing off the walls. These aren't your zoo lions, caged and fed. These are beasts bred for destruction, trained to tear through flesh in seconds. The officials toss Daniel in, his body hitting the dirt with a thud. The lions roar, their eyes locked on him. Darius seals the pit with a massive stone, his face pale, his hands trembling. He can't bear to watch. He stumbles back to his palace, unable to eat or sleep, haunted by the thought of losing Daniel. But down in that den, Daniel's not panicking. He's not screaming or begging for his life. He's calm, y'all, like he's sitting in his living room. The Bible says God sent an angel to shut those lions' mouths. Those beasts ready to feast just freeze. They're staring at Daniel, teeth bared, but they don't move. I can imagine one lion looking at the other like, "Yo, we starving, but something's telling me we ain't eating tonight." God's protection is so real. Those lions become Daniel's guard dogs instead of his executioners. All night long, Daniel's chilling in that pit, surrounded by beasts but wrapped in God's peace. That's the kind of faith that makes you shout, God doesn't just protect, He transforms the impossible. At the first light of dawn, Darius is out of bed, sprinting to the den, his heart pounding. He's shouting before he even gets there, "Daniel, Daniel, servant of the living God, did your God save you?" The soldiers roll back the stone, and from the darkness, Daniel's voice rings out, clear and strong. "I'm good, King. My God sent his angel, and those lions didn't touch me. I'm innocent, and God proved it." Darius is losing it with joy. He orders his men to pull Daniel out, and when they do, not a scratch on him. No bite marks, no claw marks, not even a torn robe. Just a man in his faith, standing tall, untouched. But the story's not over. Darius is furious with those scheming officials. He orders them rounded up, every last one, and thrown into the same den. The Bible says before they even hit the bottom, the lions crushed them. No angel this time, no protection. Justice hits hard and fast. Darius takes it further, issuing a new decree to the entire empire. Everybody's gonna respect Daniel's God because he's the living God and his power endures forever. Babylon's shook, y'all. One man's faith didn't just save him, it changed an empire, turned a king's heart, and put God's name on blast. What a story. Daniel faced betrayal, a death trap, and walked out untouched because his faith was rock solid. But let's dig deeper because there's so much more here. Babylon wasn't just any city. It was the heartbeat of the ancient world. Picture ziggurats towering like skyscrapers, hanging gardens blooming with exotic plants, and a political scene so cutthroat it makes modern politics look tame. Daniel was an outsider, a Hebrew captive in a system built to erase his identity, his culture, his God. Yet he rose to the top, not by playing their game, but by staying true to his. His prayers weren't just rituals, they were his rebellion, his way of saying, "I'm not bowing to this system." Lions' dens were real, fam. Kings used them like public executions, a way to flex power and terrify enemies. It was like the ancient version of a gladiator arena, pure spectacle meant to crush hope. For Daniel to walk out untouched, that was a miracle that echoed beyond Babylon's walls. It was God saying, "No weapon formed against my people will prosper." In African traditions, lions are symbols of strength, royalty, even danger. Across our cultures, from the Maasai to the Akan, lions represent power you don't mess with. But Daniel's God was stronger than the fiercest lion. That's a word for us. Our faith can overpower anything the world throws our way. Let's bring it home to our Black community. Daniel's story feels like our story. Think about our ancestors, torn from their homes, brought to foreign lands, forced to navigate systems not built for them. Like Daniel, they faced lions, slavery, segregation, injustice, yet they stood firm. Think of Harriet Tubman, sneaking through the night, trusting God to lead her people to freedom. Or Frederick Douglass, speaking truth in rooms full of haters, his faith keeping him bold. Daniel's like them, staying true to who he was, no matter the cost. His prayers were his anchor, his defiance, his way of saying, "I'm still here, and I'm still God's." In our churches, our homes, our communities, we carry that same faith. The civil rights movement, it was powered by prayer, fueled by folks who faced their own lions' dens, dogs, hoses, jail cells, and kept going. Daniel's story reminds us that our faith isn't just for Sunday mornings. It's our strength, our shield, our victory. When the world tries to break you, when the system stacks the odds against you, your prayers can shut the mouths of lions. So what does this mean for us today? We all face lions' dens. Maybe it's a job where you're overlooked, where folks undermine you because of who you are. Maybe it's a family situation tearing you apart, or financial struggles that feel like they're closing in. Maybe it's systemic barriers, making you feel like every step forward comes with a fight. Daniel's story says, you don't have to fight those lions alone. God's got you. His faith wasn't a one-time flex. It was a lifestyle, built day by day, prayer by prayer. Let me give you 3 ways to live this out. First, get you a prayer routine like Daniel's. He prayed 3 times a day, every day, no excuses. You don't need an hour, even 5 minutes in the morning, a quick prayer at lunch, a moment before bed. It's like charging your spirit. You don't wait till you're empty to plug in. Second, when haters come for you, and they will, stay excellent. Daniel didn't argue with those officials or stoop to their level. He let his work and his God speak for him. Your excellence is your testimony, so keep shining. Third, trust God's timing. Daniel didn't try to fistfight the lions. He stood still and let God move. Sometimes the biggest victory is waiting on God to show up. Let me tell you a story to make it real. There's a sister in our community, I'll call her Tasha, who faced her own lion's den. She was working a corporate job, the only black woman in her department. Her boss was always nitpicking, passing her over for promotions, even questioning her skills in front of everyone. It felt like a setup, like they wanted her to quit. Tasha was stressed, ready to walk away. But she started praying every morning before work, asking God for strength and wisdom. She kept showing up, doing her job so well, nobody could deny her talent. One day, her boss got called out for shady practices, fired on the spot. Guess who got promoted to take his place? Tasha. God shut those lions' mouths and she walked out stronger. That's what faith does, y'all. Here's another one. I know a brother named Jamal who faced a different kind of den. He was battling addiction, losing his family, his job, his hope. The lions were closing in, shame, fear, relapse. But he started going to a church where folks prayed with him, not just for him. He leaned into God, praying every day, even when he didn't feel like it. Slowly he got clean, rebuilt his life, and now he's mentoring other young brothers walking the same path. His lion's den became his testimony. God didn't just save him, he used him to save others. What's your lion's den? Maybe it's a financial struggle and every bill feels like a lion's roar. Maybe it's a health scare and the doctor's words are echoing in your head. Or maybe it's a dream you're chasing, but doors keep slamming in your face. Daniel's story says your faith can shut those lions' mouths. You don't need to be the loudest or the strongest, just the most faithful. God's protection is stronger than any trap, any system, any enemy. Build your faith like Daniel did, day by day, prayer by prayer, and watch God move. I want to hear from you, fam. Drop a comment below. What's a lion's den you faced, and how did God pull you through? Maybe you're in one right now. What's one step you'll take this week to stay rooted like Daniel? Don't hold back. Share your story. And if this hit you, send it to somebody who needs it. Text it to a friend, post it on your socials, spread this fire. Let's build a community that lifts each other up. And yo, real talk, those lions had to be salty, right? Staring at Daniel like, man, we were ready to eat. What you think? Were those lions mad or just confused? Hit the comments and let me know. Before I bounce, let me say this. I'm here on your channel name to bring you stories like Daniel's to ignite your faith and celebrate our Black community. If you're new, welcome to the fam. If you've been rocking with me, you know we're keeping it real. Hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss our next video. We're dropping more stories every schedule, and next time we're diving into another bold believer who shook the world with their faith. Daniel faced the impossible, lions, haters, a whole empire, and came out untouched because his God is unstoppable. That's the God we serve, one who shuts lions' mouths, breaks chains, and opens doors. No matter what you're facing, your faith is stronger than any lion. Keep praying, keep shining, keep trusting. Until next time, stay blessed, stay bold, and keep the faith. Peace.